Dina, great to have you here on the Milken stage.
Hi, everyone. You're right. Look at how exciting this is.
Yeah, I thought that line around the corner here was for you. But anyway, you're probably the next
actually, I
best
did
thing to
have a
David
7
Beckham.
a.m. panel, so yeah, it could have been for me.
Well, you did a big panel this morning on the so-called Bridging the Gap.
Between vision and action with three wonderful female leaders.
Yeah.
Desiree Gruber, Anastasia Soare, and Dawn Ostroff. We were oversubscribed. It was really exciting, and it was a good kickoff. And I was really happy that people were willing to come out so early in the morning. But us East Coasters, we're okay with that.
So did you solve the problem? I mean, how did you actually bridge that gap?
Well, I mean, we had some great advice. It was really about telling your story, right? And being able to tell your stories in a way that others can repeat it and, buy into it and help you facilitate. And sometimes finding that those sponsors, right, will facilitate the strategy and then lead to execution. And listening to the stories of these three fabulous women, during this moderation, it was really interesting to hear how they each had different journeys within their career path. It was great. Everybody really enjoyed it.
Always helpful to hear, right, in terms of how they do.
Sorry, I can't hear you because my mic came off. But I think this is a thing with you and I. Whenever we meet, the mic's.
Yeah, we should point out, Dina and I, we did an event last month, and same thing. We had all kinds of microphone issues, but we got through it. So we got to power through this, Dina.
Yeah, exactly.
And we brought you on because we really want you to talk about what it's like to actually run an asset management business from the business side. The people. We've talked a lot about AI, how that's replacing some functions. We've talked a lot about the need for more staff, particularly as clients have greater demands. What are you hearing?
Well, first of all, I love being the president of Guggenheim Investments. Asset management's just part of it, but it's really working with all the different people that have been at the firm for a long time. I mean, one thing that people don't know about Guggenheim Investments is that our employees, the average tenure is approximately 9 years, and we're a relatively young firm. And I think that speaks volumes about the culture of our organization.
Well, we hear so much about one firm trying to poach the talent from another firm. I assume you still have to deal with that, right?
Yeah, you always do, right? But I think that creating a variety of different programs for your employees and having them be invested in what you do and making sure that the mission is shared and aligned. People want to be, they're a part of it. And, right now we're seeing tremendous momentum in the fixed income markets. We manage approximately $320 billion in assets across multiple asset classes, but predominantly fixed income. Private credit is one of our areas of expertise. As you know, it's a hot market. Yep. We've been really busy innovating products as a response to our clients' needs in that particular investment class. And we've seen a lot of inflows this quarter, almost $2 billion, predominantly in total return and macro opportunities. And last year, our performance in total return was 200 basis points over the benchmark, so we did really well.
With regards to the offering of those strategies, of those products, I mean, traditionally, you've been much more wedded, high net worth folks, institutional folks. Are you sort of moving down the ladder a little bit in terms of the type of client, or the type of potential client that you would welcome into the fold?
Yeah, so, my background was predominantly, I used to be a partner of a wealth management team. I used to oversee wealth management for Guggenheim when we had that business. And a lot of my relationships in the wealth management channel had approached me and said it would be really great to have access to Guggenheim's expertise, not only in the mutual funds, which we are, big supporters of, but we'd love to be able to have access to those core strategies in separately managed account formats. So as a response to that and listening to our clients, we are launching probably around the third quarter this year 2 strategies into the financial advisory channel, Core Plus and Limited Duration, which we think captures, our capabilities in that space, depending on the duration needs of the clientele.
Where are those clients coming from? Are they primarily, geographically speaking, are they primarily in the U.S. or are they overseas?
They're primarily in the U.S., but we do see a lot of interest from our Middle Eastern clients, our clients in Tokyo, as well as the Middle East.
Does the interest rate environment change that demand at all?
Well, I think that right now, because you're looking at the easing of the rates, right? There's a lot less risk perceived in the fixed income markets versus equities, and I do think that we're starting to see an uptick just by virtue of the flows I just told you about and the AUM growth that we had from the end of 2022 was 285 billion. We're at 320 right now. So, I think that says a lot.